are good. Do you know how glass bottles are produced? In a factory, right? Similarly, any product or material is manufactured in a factory. Do you think only product alone is produced in factory? No. Apart from the product, some waste is also produced. The human body is a cellular factory. We eat food and breathe air and use the energy for other life activities. So, we also generate some waste apart from utilizing energy. How, where, and what is the waste produced in the cells of our body? I am Maunika. Let us explore answers to these queries. In this topic, excretion, from the lesson Life Processes of Class 10 Biology. Learning outcomes. After studying this topic, you will be knowing about excretion definition, excretion in human beings, excretory or urinary system structure and functions. Keywords: nephron, tubular fluid, peritubular, podocyte, glomerulus, proximal convoluted tubule PCT, distal convoluted tubule DCT, efferent arteriole, efferent arteriole, calyces, maturation, the life activities include either the building up of body materials, anabolism or their breakdown. Catabolism is collectively called metabolic activities. The organisms use different substances and generate different products during metabolic activities. Some of these may be harmful and are removed from the body or packed and stored in some other forms. We know that gaseous wastes are generated during photosynthesis and respiration, like oxygen and carbon dioxide respectively. Other metabolic activities generate nitrogenous wastes that have to be removed along with salts, excess water and several other materials. Excretion is the biological process involved in the separation and removal of waste or non-useful products from the body. In Latin, ex means out, crenere means shift. Let us see the urinary system in this concept map. Excretion in human beings. A number of metabolic reactions occur to produce many useful substances and energy. At the same time, toxic wastes may also be produced. Water content may increase and ionic balance in the body may be disturbed. The waste products include carbon dioxide, water, nitrogenous compounds like ammonia, urea, uric acid, bile pigments, excess salts, etc. The most poisonous of all waste products of metabolism is ammonia. Excretory system in human beings. The excretory system of human beings contain a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, a urinary bladder and urethra. Kidneys. In human beings, there are a pair of B-shaped reddish brown structures called kidneys. These are located in the abdominal cavity attached to the dorsal body wall. One on either side of the backbone. The size of kidney is 10 centimeters in length, 5 to 6 centimeters in breadth and 4 centimeters in thickness. Each kidney is convex on the outer side and concave on the inner side. The position of the right kidney is lower than the left kidney due to the presence of the liver above. The inner side of each kidney has a fissure or hilus for the entry of a renal artery. Exit of renal vein and a ureter. The renal artery brings oxygenated blood loaded with waste products and the renal vein carries deoxygenated blood. The waste products generated in various organs of the body are filtered and removed by the kidneys. internal structure of the kidney. Let us observe the longitudinal section of the kidney to know more about its internal structure. It shows two distinct regions like the dark colored outer zone called cortex and a pale inner zone called the medulla. Each kidney contains 1.3 to 1.8 million microscopic and thin tubular functional units called nephrons or uriniferous tubules. Structure of nephron. Each nephron has basically two parts called Malpighian body and renal tubule. The Malpighian body consists of a blind cup-shaped border at the end of the nephron called Bowman's capsule and a bunch of fine blood capillaries called the glomerulus. The Bowman's capsule and the glomerulus are together called the Malpighian capsules or renal capsule. Glomerulus develops from an efferent arteriole and gives rise to an efferent arteriole. The diameter of the efferent arteriole is less than that of an efferent arteriole. Due to the less diameter, the efferent arteriole exerts pressure in the glomerulus and it functions as a filtration unit. Bowman's capsule accommodates the glomerulus is lined by a single layer of squamous epithelial cells called podocyte cells. There are fine pores between podocyte cells to allow the passage of materials filtered out of the glomerulus. Renal tubule. It has three parts called the first or proximal convoluted tubule PCT, the loop of Henle which is U-shaped, and the second or distal convoluted tubule DCT. The distal convoluted tubules open into a collecting tube. The collecting tube forms pyramids and calyces that open into pelvis. The pelvis leads into the ureter. All the parts of the renal tubule are covered by a network of peritubular capillaries, means around the tube, formed from an efferent arteriole. The peritubular capillaries join to form a renal venule and join with the other venules. Finally, forming the renal vein. Ureters. These are a pair of whitish, narrow distensible and muscular tubes of 30 centimeters in length. Each ureter arises from the hilus of the kidney. It moves downward and obliquely opens into the urinary bladder. Ureter carries urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder. The movement of urine in the ureter is through peristalsis. Urinary bladder. It is a median, pear-shaped and distensible sac that occurs in the pelvic part of abdomen. It stores urine brought by two ureters. The storage capacity of the urinary bladder is 300 to 800 ml. Urethra. It is a tube that takes urine from urinary bladder to the outside. The opening of the urinary bladder into the urethra is guarded by a ring of muscles or sphincter. Urethra is 4 centimeters long in females and about 20 centimeters long in males. Its opening is separate in females but is in common with reproductive tract in males as a urinogenital duct. Macturation. The urine is temporarily stored in the bladder. There are two sets of circular sphincter muscles in the bladder. When the bladder is filling up, both these muscles are constricted. So, the exit is closed. However, as the pressure of the urine increases, the walls of the bladder are stretched and this triggers off an automatic reflex action causing the upper sphincter to relax. But the lower sphincter is under the control of the brain. So, urine can still be retained until this muscle is also relaxed. Control of urination is not possessed by very young children but is gradually learned. The urge for macturation occurs when the urinary bladder is filled with 300 to 400 ml of urine. The stretched bladder stimulates the nerve endings to develop the reflex. However, urine can be retained in the urinary bladder till it gets filled up to the maximum capacity of 700 to 800 ml. At this time, the urge becomes painful and leads to voluntary micturition. The total amount of urine excreted per day is about 1.6 to 1.8 liters. Its quantity increases with a larger intake of fluids like water and fruit juices and decreases with lesser intake. Points to remember. Due to metabolism, several harmful excretory products are formed. The process of removing toxic waste from the body is called excretion. The human excretory system comprises kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. Each kidney is composed of large number of uriniferous tubules or nephrons. And these are structural and functional units of the kidney. A nephron comprises the glomerulus. Bowman's capsule proximal convoluted tubule PCT, Henle's loop, distal convoluted tubule DCT and collecting tubule. Thank you.